dun, dun, dun. Hello, everybody! JC Stapleton here. We are going to give you a bit of a safety car procedure breakdown here, brought to you by the poorest team in the league, whatever team that is. They bought us a poster board to figure out how to do this, and we're going to get it done. So here is a standard track. We're going to go through safety car procedures here in F-Poop, and it starts when one car gets a red engine light. So we'll go through a couple of different scenarios. When a car gets a red engine light, immediately you need to call out a safety car. Safety car shouldn't be something that anyone else says. When we have a lot of drivers, it's very difficult to understand what's going on with other people on the track. Only say the word safety car if you get a red engine light. Now, each driver can only cause one safety car a race. So here we go. The cars are off. They're driving around the track. White in the lead, orange in second, yellow in third. As they head around turn 3, you see they're racing along. What great graphics. Oh no! We've got a bit of a spin out here. And yes, the yellow car has sustained so much damage that they are now out of the race. Their red engine light has gone on. So again, this happens whenever you are unable to drive your car, a red engine light comes on, or some cases the suspension is so bad that you can't drive it anymore. But typically it's just the red engine light. Other damage can happen. You can damage wings, you can damage side panels. None of that brings out a safety car. Now, when we do have a safety car, all the fellow cars drive around the track. The leader's the important one here. The leader has a chance to pit every lap. You see both the first and second car pitted. So now the leader of the race lines up at a safe spot around turn 2 or 3. The crashed car then warps back to pits and joins the queue at the back of the pack. From there, they drive slowly around the track until the commissioner says the safety car is in. Then the leader is in control of the race, can set the pace, but once he accelerates, you guys are going. Now there's no passing here. I'm drawing in the start-finish line. There's no passing until you reach the start-finish line. So right now, yellow can't go around orange. That would be a penalty. In fact, they can't really even overlap. Once you get past the start-finish line, then you can overlap and start racing. So let's go through this again. Driving around the track. Very fast. Great speed. Now, in this situation, the leader has passed the pit entry line when suddenly the yellow car crashes and damages his engine. The leader has a chance to pit before we assemble the safety queue. So the leader will have a chance to go around. If you were behind the leader, you have a chance to pit either your first lap or your second time around. The important factor here is the leader. The leader has a chance to pit, whoever the leader is, and then the safety queue starts lining up. So here the leader pits. The second car has a choice. They can either pit again or pit the second lap, or they can pass the leader. You can pass in the pits. You cannot pass on the track. Right here, the orange car cannot pass on the track. The only time you can pass is when a car goes into the pit or in pit lane. So there we see the second car go past. He now becomes the leader and he establishes the safety queue. Let's bring in the third car here. So the leader is in the pit. Let's say he has a lot of damage. The blue car is not going to pit. They are racing until the pit exit line you see here. So whatever car gets over that line first then lines up in the queue ahead of the other. The damaged car then warps back to pit. Should be the only car that warps back to pit and then goes to the very back of the safety queue line. So I'll pause right here for a moment. We've left the crashed out car upside down because they are now in the dead pool. Any cars that crash out during a race that don't use their single season mulligan are now in the dead pool. It's a secondary race. We want you to keep racing. These cars are racing each other. It's like a different class now. So the cars that haven't crashed out, they're in the lead race. They're going to battle for position. And if there's 10 cars left, they're going to battle for position 1 through 10. Every car in the dead pool, they're now battling for positions 11 through 20. So you could pass a car if you're in the dead pool that's in the lead race, but you don't pass them in the standings. So you don't go up to 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th. You're just battling the cars in the dead pool. It's highly encouraged if you're in the dead pool to not battle, damage, and knock out a car in the lead race. Let's pretend this is a bit later in the race now. The cars are driving. Go through this again. First and second drive through. The blue car crashes out. So now we're going to have 2 cars in the dead pool. When the crash happened, the leader was past the pit entry, so he's going to go around and have an opportunity to pit. The white car did have a chance to pit, but he's decided to pit again. So this is the other area where you can race. In the pit lane, if one car's repairs take longer than the other, you can race out of the pit lane. First one to that pit exit line matters. So here we have the 2 cars in the lead race, the 2 cars in the dead pool. You're all battling as we go around, each in your separate races, but all in the same race. And you can't pass on track until you hit that start-finish line. Now, let's give you a bit of a different scenario here. Again, can't pass until that start-finish line. So, different scenario now. Let's talk about lapped cars. So, lapped cars are still considered in the lead race. Doesn't matter if a dead pool car passes them. So the 2 leaders are going to drive through. One leader is going to go so fast, the second car is going to go so fast that they are eventually going to lap this yellow car here. That yellow car is 1 lap behind, but then the blue car crashes out, causing a safety car. The leader has a chance to pit, so the white car is going to go in, the orange car is going to go in, the lap car is going to go in. Everyone's going to have a chance to pit and then line up before turn 2 or 3 in the safe spot. Any lapped car has a chance to recover a lap and unlap themselves. When you line up in the queue, any cars in the lead race line up ahead of dead pool cars. So you have 1, 2, 3 cars in the lead race, and then the dead pool car in the back battling other dead pool cars. So to recap, don't say the word safety car unless you have a red engine or your car is undrivable. A safety car triggers the opportunity for the leader to pit. If the leader passes the pit entry, they get to go all the way around and pit. Whoever is the leader and has had a chance to pit will then set up at a safe spot before turn 2 or turn 3, wherever we've determined, and line up safely. Once all the cars are lined up, we'll cycle through the laps slowly, pack up, and then the commissioner will allow the leader to take over the race. They set the pace for the restart. There is no passing during a safety car, before or after the queue at turn 3. The only time you can pass is during the restart when your car has passed the start-finish line in the pits, or if you're passing a car in the pits. If you are passing a car in the pits, the line at the exit of the pit lane determines what spot you line up in. If a car goes off the track during a safety lap and it's egregious and they can't recover, you are allowed to pass that car. That car doesn't have the right to take their spot back. Each driver has 1 mulligan a season. This allows you to go from the dead pool back into the lead race. You can only do that if you have caused a safety car. You can't cause a safety car, go into the dead pool, and then 2 safety cars later decide you want to be back in the lead race. You need to decide before we restart the race. You only get one of those a season. In the queue, if you are down a lap, you have a chance to regain 1 lap. So you can go past the lead car and retake a lap. Any cars in the lead lap should line up ahead of any cars in the dead pool. If you're the one who caused the accident, you should be at the very back of the pack. Unless you are the car that is knocked out, you should not be warping back to pit at any time during the race. If you're the race leader, communicate. If you haven't pit yet, and you know you're early in the lap at turn 1 or 2, let folks know that you're going to be driving around. If you become the leader, be very aware of that. You may need to set up the safety queue if you decide not to pit. Once you do start setting up the safety queue and you believe you're in the lead, communicate that. There should be no racing past the pit exit line. So once you get around turn 1, a nice slow pace. If you crash into the queue during a safety car lap, the penalties can be severe. Let me know if I missed anything. Be safe out there. Let's not cause any safety cars. That's the best way to go. And I'll see you at the track.